Hey everybody, Uncle Rich here. It's your old buddy Uncle Rich here for telling the truth. Let's hope everything goes nice and smooth today. Guys, this is show number 228, and the name of the show is Accosted. And guys, I tell you, things have been happening so fast around here. On Tuesday, I called into our buddy Chris Ponte's show, and we got into a little debate about Medicare. And it was amazing how little Chris really knew about it. So I wanted to do the show on Medicare. But then this stuff with the fake media and the enemy of the people, and I was talking to our sound man, Kurt, and I said, Kurt, what do you think about this enemy of the people, the media? He goes, Rich, they're public enemy number one. So, guys, Trump wants to make Jim Acosta the the poster boy for everything that's wrong with the media. And let's see, guys, but before we get the show started, we gotta pat ourselves on the back a little bit. Our last show, we named it Jones and Out. And guys, we said that it was time and we got to get Jones out of here and get him off the internet and get him, because he was banned. If you go back to the last show, guys, 227, you can watch the whole thing. Well, here's the good news. Judy, can you bring up still number 02, please? Guys, look what happened. Apple removed most of the Conspiracy Theorist podcast from iTunes. And guys, this happened today. So Judy, come back to me. So guys, we only had 50 views on YouTube, but it only took one person from Apple to watch our show, and they said, get Jones out of here. Uncle Rich said, get him out of here. So guess what happened? Toodles, he got fired. Thanks, Kurt. Hey, and guys, I tell you, tonight's show, we're going to have so much fun because this first clip we're going to play you is sent from Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey sent it to me on Messenger. And guys, this is Uncle Joey accosting Acosta. So Judy, let's have clip number 2A, please.
He said he's very worried that the hostility whipped up by Trump and some in conservative media will result in somebody getting hurt. We should not treat our fellow Americans this way, he said. The press is not the enemy. Well, since you are honestly so dense that you can't figure this out by yourself, Jimmy, I will help you out.
Oh, see that? She's going to help you out, Jimmy. And thank you, Uncle Joey. Thank you for sending the clip in, because we're going to play the whole clip and we're going to show you how you got bamboozled and how you aren't smart enough to be a critical thinker and realize that you got hosed, so that you wouldn't put this on Facebook and embarrass yourself and your family. Joe, I'm only doing this for you. And, you know, guys, Uncle Joey wants to come down and he wants to sit down with Uncle Rich. And the invitation is open. But, Joe, do yourself a favor. Call in on Facebook, all right? Because if you ever come down here, really, you'll have to slither out. Because the stuff that's been put into your little brain from Fox News and the rest of the boneheads. And, guys, even though we talked about, Kurt and I talked about the public enemy number one, Bill Maher certainly said it much better than we did. So, Judy, clip number 2B, please.
I mean, he calls the media the enemy of the people, except, of course, for Fox News. They're so far up his ass. They're the enema of the people.
So Bill Maher outdid me and Kurt once again. Hey, but that's why he makes the big bucks. And guys, we're going to play that whole clip. And I tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun. But the fun's just starting tonight because we're going to go and we're going to show you where Jim Acosta actually confronted Sarah Huckabee. So, Judy, let's play clip number 3 and listen carefully to what he says about Ivanka Trump at the end of the clip. Judy, clip 3, please.
All the people around the world are watching what you're saying, Sarah, and the White House for the United States of America, the President of the United States should not refer to us as the enemy of the people. His own daughter acknowledges that, and all I'm asking you to do, Sarah, is to acknowledge that right now and right here.
So Trump's daughter admits that the media is not the enemy of the people. And guys, now we come to our Beetlejuice moment where we can go into our alternate universe. So Judy, let's have clip number 4, please.
I do not feel that the media is the enemy of the people. No, I do not feel that the media is the enemy of the people. No, I do not feel that the media is the enemy of the people.
Beetlejuice! So guys, now we can start to have some fun and we can play with the facts and we can twist things and we can try to confuse people and create doubt. But you know what, guys? Sean Hannity is on our side. I'm telling you, I heard it from the horse's mouth, and you're not going to believe it. That's why we're going to play it for you. So, Judy, this will be clip number 8. So let's see if you're on your toes. Number 8, please.
We should not treat our fellow Americans this way. The press is not the enemy.
Nice job, Judy. Guys, see that? You heard it from Sean Hannity's mouth. The press is not our enemy. Now, guys, I could twist that clip and take it out of context, and we could have a lot of fun with it. But Hannity was really quoting Acosta. But you see, if we were on Fox News, we wouldn't tell you that. And later on, we're going to have some fun because of the distortion that gets created with Fox News. And guys, I'm telling you, it's getting to the point where it's so sad. And the people that are starting to listen to Trump and are starting to believe what he's saying, it might go back to the old days. Guys, do you remember the old commercials on TV about drugs and what drugs do to your brain? Judy, can we have a clip still number 9? And let's see what drugs used to do to our brain. Still number 9, please. This is your brain on drugs, right, guys? Remember? With the frying pan, with the eggs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? And guys, let's take a look at what your brain is like on Trump. So, Judy, let's have... There it is. The fire's... Go back to it, Judy. The fire's under the handle. The egg shells are in the frying pan. The egg yolk is on the stove. Everything, guys, what do we call that? Everything is ass backwards. And that's how Trump does it. And how does he get the simple folk to listen to him? Guys, oh, and I just knocked the our mama hat on. You know, if anybody wants to know what the mama stands for, something that Trump won't understand, it's Make America Moral Again. And does Trump have any morals? Guys, I want to tell you, there's a new movie that's coming out, and we're going to play a little tease, but we're going to play you the trailer later. So, Judy, let's have clip number 11, please.
Russians have a particular type of mark. They go after somebody who has business resources, shady morals, and political connections or aspirations. I've just described Donald Trump.
Judy, can you play that again? I mean, that was good, but let's play it again now. Just hit it again.
Russians have a particular type of mark. They go after somebody who has business resources, shady morals, and political connections or aspirations. I've just described Donald Trump.
Shady morals. Make America moral again. Mama. Hey, Kurt came up with that. Got to give him credit. But guys, now we're really going to start with some good clips. We're going to start the show with some good, solid comedy from Bill Maher. So, you know, as we say on this show, when we get started, smoke if you got 'em. So, Judy, let's have clip number 12, please.
Now, our president has always been unhinged, and I have to say, in the last month, he did not get more hinged. Did you say, this week he held two of his hillbilly Nuremberg rallies, and and it's scary to people in this profession. I mean, he calls the media the enemy of the people, except, of course, for Fox News. They're so far up his ass, they're the enema of the people. Yeah, from now on, collusion, not a crime, but journalism apparently is. We live in a country now where reporting reality gets attacked because it threatens the fantasy world created by the cult leader. So it was kind of good to see a couple of days ago all our top security people, head of the FBI, head of the Director of National Intelligence, all those dudes were out there saying, it was Russia. It's Russia now. It's happening again. It's not a drill. Now if we can just get the commander-in-chief on the same page. Because when Trump says no collusion, he means with his own national security team.
There you go. You got a different page.
I mean, how can these people expect to do their job when the president himself is tweeting, as he did a couple of days ago, that the Attorney General has to stop this rigged witch hunt with Russia? What happened to, I can't comment on an ongoing investigation? Remember those days? And if you're so innocent, why do we have to stop the investigation? It's a little suspicious. It's like when you come home and the first thing the kids say is, the babysitter's a liar.
The babysitter's a liar. And guys, the next clip, this was what Uncle Joey sent me, and you're going to see what a liar this girl is. And what she does is, she presents everything as if Jim Acosta is responsible for everything that happens with the liberal media. He's the poster boy, and everything should be blamed on him. Now, guys, just listen. Listen and see if she really ever mentions that Jim Acosta actually did anything. No, she'll represent other people, and she'll make the accusations that either he inspired it or he thinks and he made them react this way. So guys, let's have some fun and listen very carefully. And you'll see how Uncle Joey got tricked and he got bamboozled into thinking, because she used Jim Acosta's name, that everything in the clip is associated with Jim Acosta when it ain't. And what's that old saying from that old Bad News Bears clip when you assume something? Well, Joey assumed an awful lot on this clip. And the girl that did the clip assumed that everybody in this country that's conservative is a simple folk and isn't a critical thinker. But hopefully, hopefully we'll start to know better, right, Joe? Because after you watch this clip and you see how you were tricked, you'll throw the towel in. Maybe, maybe. Nah, you're a good tribe member. You won't quit Trump. You love Trump. You'll go down swinging with Trump. Right, Joe? So, Judy, let's have some fun and let's prove my point. But, guys, listen to the clip and figure out what's missing. Hit it, Judy.
CNN's Jim Acosta just cannot figure out why half the country can't stand the media. Maybe it's because they spent the better part of 3 years calling all Trump voters Nazi racists who hate black people and want all the immigrants to die.
Here comes the assumptions.
Hey guys, I'm Brittany Hughes, and you're watching Reality Check on MRC TV.
Nice
Jim
to meet
Acosta,
you, Brittany.
over at CNN, is clutching his pearls, trying desperately to figure out why half of America absolutely hates his guts. Why? Well, because some people at a rally hurt his itty-bitty baby feelings the other day, and he tweeted about it.
Look at that.
He said he's very worried that the hostility whipped up by Trump and some in conservative media will result in somebody getting hurt. We should not treat our fellow Americans this way, he said. The press is not the enemy.
You got it.
Well, since you are honestly so dense that you can't figure this out by yourself, Jimmy, I will help you out. See, this is what happens when you spend the better part of 3 years calling millions of people racists, Nazis, Klansmen, and bigots.
If you vote for Trump,
is that Jim
then
Acosta? Is that him
the
talking?
voter, you, not Donald Trump, are standing at the border.
Don't look like him.
Like Nazis.
All the people who voted for Donald Trump are racist.
Yes.
If Republicans weren't so
racist,
they could encourage black people who are morally conservative to be on their side. Anybody who votes
that guy's too skint. No, he's too fat to be Jim Acosta.
When you accuse them all of supporting Hitler just because they backed a candidate you didn't like. When you say it was because they hate all black people or Muslims or refugees or immigrants or gays or the poor. It's what happens when you let high school anti-gun activists plant their skinny little butts on your panels and call all 6 million NRA members child murderers with exactly zero pushback. When you accuse people of being transphobic just because they think that boys are boys and girls are girls. It's what happens when you immediately blame a newspaper shooting on right-wingers with no proof, or spread baseless rumors about Trump's Supreme Court pick with no proof, or tell outright lies about what's happening at our southwest border.
Who's lying, honey?
It's what happens when you falsely accuse Republicans of shoving migrant kids into concentration camps, but you don't say a word whenever an American gets T-boned by a drunk illegal alien without a driver's license who blew through a stop sign. Or whenever they find a body in a ditch that MS-13 gangbangers have hacked up with a machete.
Oh, yeah, because it causes
It's what happens
pain, right?
when you lie. The media has spent the last almost 3 years calling Trump voters a bunch of hood-wearing, cross-burning, racist child murderers. And you honestly wonder why they don't like you showing up to their rallies? Why they might boo you and holler at you to tell the truth? You spend the vast majority of your time screaming at the president and his press staff, and yet you're upset when someone screams at you? The minute you blasted out your tweet, Jim, a Politico reporter commented that if you put all those Trump supporters together, you would wind up with one full set of teeth. That is why they hate you guys. So go cry me a river, because I officially have zero sympathy for you, you raging hypocrite. And that's your reality check, guys. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter. Send this to Jim Acosta, and stay sane out there.
Brittany Hughes. Let's have some fun, right, guys? Hey, do I have to get her kicked off the air, too? Brittany, don't push me. Don't push me. I'll do a show on you, and you'll be out looking for a job. It's amazing the power we yield from this desk. All right, but guys, the next clip, we're going to show you more lying. And listen to Stuart Barney. And what does he say? Jim Acosta stormed out of the press meeting. Guys, I know, you're not going to believe me, so we'll play the clip. Not only does he lie, but his guest lies with him. So, Judy, let's prove that we're not lying with clip number 14.
That wasn't the response that Jim Acosta wanted, and when he didn't get the response that he wanted, he simply stalked out of the room. I thought that was extraordinary. Tammy Bruce, Independent Women's Voice president, is with us. I think the man was totally out of bounds.
Well, look, I agree. Then he became an infant and stomped out of the room when he didn't get his way. That is what makes you effectively, in a larger, broader sense, an enemy to the American people. Because
So, guys, he lied and she swore to it. And if you watch any of the videos, Acosta never stormed out of the room. But you know what? It sounds so much better if you're listening on Fox News, because that's the agenda they want to pass. He couldn't walk out like that. He had to storm out. Oh, stormtroopers. I can't believe, so that's it. Okay, so, but you know what? Let's have some more fun. And let's show you how how Trump favors Fox. And listen, there's going to be some people that work at Fox that are going to have some very hurt feelings because the Fuhrer, Don the Con, didn't mention them and all the hard work they put in promoting the nonsense that Trump is preaching, and some people didn't get their names mentioned. So let's see who Trump favors from Fox. So, Judy, let's have clip number 15, please.
Rallies are very successful. They hate when I do them, although they do like the ratings, I must say. You know, they're torn. They're torn.
They're torn.
Do we put them on and get great ratings? And let him say that, like, CNN is a fake? Or do we not put them on? They're very torn. It's oftentimes I'm getting ready to do my, the fake news with CNN and MSNBC is so corrupt. It's so
corrupt.
disgusting.
They tell you the truth. That's
so disgusting. I would say almost they're worse. They're almost worse. They're really a fake news group of people. And here's the good news. The guys that we love, right? They're blowing them away in the ratings. Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson.
Never mind the truth.
Steve Doocy, Ainsley, Ryan.
Yay! Who did you forget,
So
Daddy?
many others. They're blowing them away in the ratings. Oh, excuse me. I almost forgot I would have been in big trouble.
You would have been in trouble.
The great Lou Dobbs.
Lou Dobbs? Oh, my God. Lou Dobbs.
But you see, Maria Bartiromo.
Oh, God, you would have been in deep water.
I'm in trouble because I know I left out probably 10.
You didn't mention
But
the
I didn't really think I'd be doing this. But they're blowing them away. CNN is down at the bottom of the totem pole. MSNBC isn't even close to being next to these shows. So we're blowing them away, and that's good because...
Yeah, they're blowing them away. Hey, half of the people that work at Fox got fired. Why? Because they're blowing people away. Okay. The next clip, let's see what Hannity. I don't think Trump mentioned Hannity. Well, that's because he has dinner with him every night. So, Judy, let's have clip number 16, please.
We should not treat our fellow Americans this way. The press is not the enemy. Jim, I'm a pretty prominent conservative in the country. Let me say this clearly and loudly.
Thank you, Sean.
I want every journalist in this country, everyone, I don't care who you work for, to be safe. And I'll tell you right now, I will be the first person to come to your defense if I'm there and anyone ever dares lay a hand on you. If I was standing there, if I see it happen, I will be the first person to jump in and fight on your behalf.
I like him. He would go to Jim's defense, just like Trump would run into the building with the guy shooting the automatic rifle. He would run just that way. These conservatives, they're good people. They like, and you know what? there's a new conservative outlet, CRTV, and it just so happens that Hannity and Mark Levin just happen to share the lies together. And guys, just listen. Listen how they love to perpetuate the hate and the misunderstanding and the lies and the nonsense and how they trick the people like Uncle Joey and Ken Johnson and Eddie Shaluk and all the other simple folk on Facebook. Guys, I really appreciate you when you post with me on Facebook. I appreciate it. I really do. Because without you, people wouldn't really, they wouldn't believe the fact of how stupid you guys can be. But once again, thank you. I want to thank you. And we want to prove our point even more. So let's listen to Mr. Levin, who's on regular radio. And guys, this is another thing that happens all the time. You know, these people listen to hate radio, and the brainwashing never stops. So anyway, Judy, let's have some fun with clip number 17, please.
And how corrupt this news media is. And they're a bunch of crybabies. Oh, they're calling us fake news. Oh, they're incite. That's not violence. That's called freedom of speech. It's
freedom
like,
of
I guess they have freedom of the press to lie like they do.
Freedom of speech. I love it.
I would say this,
Settles
you know,
that.
a lot has been said about the president calling fake news the enemy of the people. I have a different take on this. Why do the press hate the American people?
The press doesn't
Over
hate
65
the American
million people, give or take, voted for Donald Trump for president of the United States. I wrote this down. Various press outlets, reporters, hosts, or their guests have called millions and millions of Americans Nazis, racists, deranged, cultists, deplorables, and even worse. How do the press in this country justify calling tens of millions of people such outrageous names? And we conservatives have watched as the press have destroyed, they're seeking to destroy Trump, Palin, Bork, Clarence Thomas, Ronald Reagan, the list goes on and on and on. The D.C. press corps today is the least professional press corps in my lifetime. They think that their job is to make it impossible for the president to function, to sabotage him, and to advance the cause of the ideologues, to advance the cause of a rogue prosecutor by the name of Mueller. And so the press really needs to be circumspect, take a look at itself. It won't. As long as they keep putting clowns like Jim Acosta out there, who is a drama queen of sorts, and who like to report on themselves and talk about themselves, as long as it's impossible to tell a late-night comedian from Jake Tapper and Jake Tapper from the porn star and all the rest of it, this is going to be the reaction of the American people.
Well, if it wasn't so important, this is where, you know, thank God the American people have choices. And that we're a part of it is an honor, and I feel blessed to be able to do this, as I know you do.
All right, guys, I was checking the time here, but, you know, you start to see what happens. And the next guy, this used to be one of my favorites on the 5 on Fox News, Eric Bolling, and he's not on Fox News anymore because he sent dick pictures. That's right. He took pictures of his dick and he sent them. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But guys, this is Eric Bolling, and here we go. He's going to bash Acosta. So, Judy, let's have clip number 18.
I will give you something here right now. That group down there in that Tampa audience was right and wrong. They were wrong for saying CNN sucks. CNN, let's be honest, has an opinion. They don't suck. Jim Acosta sucks, okay, period. So they should have been saying Acosta sucks, not CNN sucks. Jim Acosta is using whatever animosity or whatever fighting he's got going on with the White House to up his own personal profile, not to get to the information.
CNN doesn't suck, but Jim Acosta does. How long is it going to be until something happens? How long? How long before you get some nitwit knucklehead that's going to strike out? Let's be honest with you. It's going to happen. It's going to happen any day. You can't incite the simple folk and expect that nothing's going to happen. That's simple. It's that simple. And hopefully, fortunately, we have some people that are smart enough to understand what's going on. And the next clip, we're going to have a little common sense, some logic, and some reason. And from who else? Bernie. My buddy Bernie. So, Judy, let's have clip number 19, please.
It's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write.
I have very serious concerns about the drift toward authoritarianism in our own country and authoritarian movements all over the world. And I get really upset when I hear Donald Trump talking to Leslie Stahl, and she asks him, why do you always attack the media? And this is what he says.
He said, you know why I do it? I do it to discredit you all and demean you all, so when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you.
People don't trust you.
The fake media.
The most dishonest people that I've ever met. Absolute scum. Remember that. They make up the sources. There are no sources.
What the building behind me is about the American people coming together to debate the important issues that face us all. That's what democracy is supposed to be about. And yet I have real concerns that we have a president of the United States who is trying to undermine democracy, undermine democratic institutions in this country, including the media. So that when the media criticizes him, many of his supporters will say, we don't believe anything that's on CBS or the New York Times or NBC.
That was just fake news by NBC.
That's a dangerous trend. And I hope that we stand up, that we fight back, and that we understand that in a democracy there will be differences of opinion. But let us argue those differences of opinion. Let's vote for the candidates that we support. But let us not do what Trump is doing, and that is undermining democratic traditions and democratic values and democratic institutions.
The press has destroyed themselves.
That is wrong, that is dangerous, and we cannot allow that to happen.
So, he does it for one reason, right, guys? So when you write negative stories about me, no one will believe you. And guys, I mean, this is the way this guy thinks. No, he doesn't think. That's not thinking. That's behavioral. That's not you. A person like Trump does not think. That's not rational thought. I mean, it's tribal thought. It's for one reason and one reason only. To benefit Trump. And then, you know, it's a shame that people refuse to see this. And guys, the next clip, you know, I was so baffled by this presence of Q at Trump's rallies. And I really didn't know what Q was. So, believe it or not, like at the beginning of the show when I said we were going to, you know, first we were going to do something on Medicare, then I was going to do something on Acosta, then I was going to do something on Q. But we're going to introduce you to some Trump supporters at a Trump rally, and we're going to let you listen to what they have to say about Q. And guys, when you hear what they have to say, one thought is going to pop up into your mind, and we'll talk about it on the backside. So, Judy, let's have clip number 20, please.
Right.
What do you think Q is, by the way?
It's an entity of 10 or less people that have
involved with the government?
High clearance, you know, security clearance.
And how do you know that?
Well, I'm just telling you, this is what it appears to be.
What it appears to be. So you don't have any proof of that. That's what you're guessing it is.
And you don't have any proof there isn't.
You don't have any proof there isn't. You heard it, guys.
Online and talking together as Americans and uniting. And
do you think it's maybe just makes you comfortable talking with other frustrated, sometimes angry people?
Yes.
But maybe it's not true because there's no evidence of it. It's just stuff being talked about on the internet, right?
There hasn't been any non-evidence yet.
A major mantra among QAnon followers. The press is the enemy.
That's it. You heard it.
You believe in the First Amendment?
Oh, I totally believe in the First
Well, you
Amendment.
don't. You just said the press is the enemy.
Well, you guys are weaponized. You guys are totally weaponized by the CIA.
What is that?
You guys are weaponized
by the CIA.
by the CIA.
I don't know anybody in the CIA except a couple of people I've interviewed over the years.
Okay.
But weaponized, what does it even mean? Like you say stuff that doesn't even mean anything.
The term
weaponized by the CIA.
conspiracy theorist, the
Do
term...
you think I'm weaponized by the CIA?
There hasn't been any non-evidence. Holy mackerel. When you try to prove a negative, you can get away with anything. You can make any claim you want, and you don't have to support it. Well, how do you know it doesn't exist? It's more or less what the Christians do with God. Well, how do you know God doesn't exist? Can't prove a negative. We know that. But you know what? They'll play this game all day long. And why? Because it gives them cover. It lets them get away with tricking the simple folk. It's all about control. Well, you can't prove it's not happening, can you? You can't prove that cigarettes don't give you lung cancer. You can't prove that the globe isn't warming, can you? Doubt. That's all they want to do is create, and then they hide behind it. Try to prove me wrong, go ahead, you can't. Well, of course we can't. Because you can't prove a negative. But guys, I don't know. We're talking about people that don't think positively. I mean, really. And the next clip, just to show you that there are some honest people in the world and some honest people actually work at Fox News, the next clip we're going to play shows Shepard Smith virtually discounting everything that Sean Hannity said and just giving him, I'm telling you, when you watch this clip, you'll see why I always use the term ass backwards. Because Hannity gets it ass backwards and Shepard Smith straightens him out. So Judy, let me prove my point with clip number 21, please.
They have been hyperventilating over what we have exposed so far as a hoax, a conspiracy, a fabrication. And that is, they created about Donald Trump and Trump-Russia collusion, even though the media knows there's no evidence to prove any of this is true after nearly 18 months.
The Russian investigation is the opposite of a hoax. And now, indictments against Russian organizations and persons have been handed up.
This is something the media refuses to accept, as constitutional law professor Alan Dershowitz is explaining. Oh, this is rough for the media to handle. Collusion is not a crime.
While the U.S. Criminal Code does not criminalize colluding per se, it is a crime to conspire with a foreign adversary to influence or undermine our election or any other government action. Special counsel prosecutors have gotten indictments against more than 20 Russians, 3 Russian companies, and several former Trump campaign members, including guilty pleas from a foreign policy advisor and a national security advisor.
Comey and his buddies and Strzok to put the fix in to save Hillary's campaign. Then they quickly started spying on the Trump campaign.
The FBI did not place a spy in the Trump campaign. That's according to several Republican lawmakers and all of the evidence seen by Fox News. No spy.
Uh-oh. But the fact that the server in the Trump organization was tapped by the government and another wiretap took place, that's kind of scary.
Fox News knows of no evidence of any kind that the now President of the United States was surveilled at any time in any way. Full stop.
And until and unless members of the National Football League gain the respect for the flag in this country and those that have sacrificed, bled, and died fighting under that flag, I'm finished.
They're attacking the troops. They're attacking the flag, none of which they're doing. They're not doing any of that. They're upset about racial injustice in the country, and they're upset about the things that the president has said.
If you want to believe in waterboarding, all you have to do is watch somebody steal your kid and you capture the person that was assisting, and then they know where your kid is. I think most people might resort to waterboarding.
Waterboarding is torture and is not permitted under Army Field Manual guidelines. Torture is illegal under international law. The Supreme Court noted in 2004 that the United States has a historical record of regarding waterboarding as a war crime and has prosecuted individuals for such practice in the past.
everybody like us, we're just climate deniers, but it went from literally global cooling in the next ice age to global warming, and now they just have broad climate change. And of course, they even had to, in some instances, we know they manipulated data.
Dozens of United States government scientists on climate change. They conclude climate change is real and driven almost exclusively by human activity. Climate change is happening mostly because of the fuels we burn for energy, fuels which emit greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. This was, even before today, a scientific fact.
According to reports, Obama's Justice Department, they utilized at least one informant to spy on multiple Trump campaign officials and associates during the 2016 election. And by the way, the media is lying about it.
President Trump has also claimed the feds spied on his campaign with an informant. The president calls it Spygate. Fox News can confirm it is not. Fox News knows of no evidence to support the president's claim that lawmakers from both parties say using an informant to investigate suspected ties to Russia is not spying. It's part of the normal investigative process.
And he's dragging out, by the way, the investigation. He wants to derail many pro-Trump Republicans in the midterms.
Unfounded, not based in fact or reason, with no evidence to support them, the president says, back up. The president says that Robert Mueller and his team are meddling in the midterms. There's nothing to support that claim.
Without a doubt, this summit was a tremendous success, and complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization of the entire Korean Peninsula is now in the works.
Well, America demanded complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization. CVID, complete, verifiable, irreversible denuclearization. There is no guarantee of that. Not even words to that effect.
All of this without any concessions from the United States, nothing.
But Kim Jong-un, he wanted the photos, the seat at the table. He wanted the legitimacy that came with the event, the handshake with America's president. And he wanted those military exercises with the Americans and the South Koreans that happen every year to stop. Kim Jong-un got it all for actually doing nothing.
Between 2009 and 2013, the chairman of Uranium One used his family foundation to make millions of dollars in donations to the Clinton Foundation before and after Hillary approved the sale of the company to Putin and Russia. And that's not all. Other Uranium One investors, guess what? They also donated millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation.
The accusation is predicated on the charge that Secretary Clinton approved the sale. She did not. A committee of 9 evaluated the sale. The president approved the sale. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission and others had to offer permits, and none of the uranium was exported for use by the U.S. to Russia. That is Uranium One.
So who's telling the truth? Fox News or Fox News? Guys, you see the dilemma, don't you? I mean, it gets to the point where you just say, oh, mama. And I mean, Fox News does such a good job of trying to trick everybody. And, you know, this morning I was watching them, and it's just amazing the stuff that they show. But what we're going to do is we're going to play one final clip on this whole menagerie. And this is, you're going to be able to hear Jim Acosta himself. And you're going to hear it from the horse's mouth. And guys, you're going to hear it and just hopefully, the people that want to kill Jim and want to beat him up, after they watch this clip, they'll want to have their selfies taken with him, which happens a lot. So Judy, let's have video number 22, please.
We're back. I want to talk to someone who was
Mob
at the rally in Tampa
mentality.
last night. He's covered countless of these and has become one of the president's favorite human punching bags. CNN chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta. Jim, we've seen your videos, and I've been to these events too. I've met with countless Trump supporters. Even I was shocked at the level of vitriol that was aimed your way last night. Give us an idea of what it felt like to be in the middle of it.
Well, Essie, I mean, honestly, it felt like we weren't in America anymore. I don't know how to put it any more plainly than that. Americans should not be treating their fellow Americans in this way. But unfortunately, what we've seen, and this has been building for some time since the campaign, I've been talking about this as an issue since the campaign, when the president during the campaign referred to us as the dishonest media, the disgusting news media, liars, scum, and thieves, and so on, and then he rolled that right into the Oval Office and started calling us fake news and the enemy of the people. He is whipping these crowds up into a frenzy to the point where they really want to come after us. And we have these bike rack like barriers around the press cage, as we call it, to protect us essentially from people who might take things too far. It's unfortunate because, and I try to calmly talk to a lot of these folks at the rally last night to say, listen, hey, tell me what you want to talk about here. Why are you guys so upset with us? And they would kind of go through a list of questions. Most of the questions were about, why don't you guys report positive news about the president? And I said, hey, you know what? We do that. We were reporting on this positive job numbers in the economy last Friday. And my sense of it, Essie, is that these opinions that these folks have at these rallies, they're shaped by what they see in the primetime hours of Fox News and what they hear from some conservative news outlets that just sort of give them this daily diet of what they consider to be terrible things that we do over here at CNN. It's very unfortunate, but it's a pitting of American against American, and honestly, it needs to stop.
Last night you tweeted, I'm very worried that the hostility whipped up by Trump and some in the conservative media will result in somebody getting hurt. We should not treat our fellow Americans this way. The press is not the enemy. Trump's been bashing the media for a while now. What makes you think it's at this sort of pivot point now, this really dangerous pivot point?
Well, I think it's been dangerous for some time. I was worried during the campaign that a journalist was going to get hurt, and it has been building. But when you refer to the members of the press as the enemy of the people, you're essentially putting targets on our backs. And it's not just some, Joe Schmo on a bar stool in Kalamazoo saying this. This is the president of the United States. And that comes, with a serious force behind it. And, he has a lot of people out there who are extremely angry at us. And what I've been saying to these folks at these rallies is, hey, watch what we do on CNN, form your conclusions based on that. But listen, we can't just do the news for the Republicans. We have to do the news for all Americans. And that means we have to report on everything that's going on. I had a lady say to me at the rally last night, why can't you guys be like Walter Cronkite over at CBS News? I said to the lady, you remember this? This was an elderly woman. I said, you remember this? Walter Cronkite said on the CBS Evening News that essentially the Vietnam War had been lost, and Lyndon Johnson at that time, a Democratic president, said, well, if I've lost Cronkite, I've lost the country. And so journalists do form conclusions based on their observations from time to time, but I strongly defend what we do at CNN, that we do straight news, real news, no matter what the president says. And so I think we're just going to have to keep talking to these folks at these rallies. I felt that as I talked to them, folks seemed to calm down. Rome wasn't built in a day, but I think we just have to keep at it, Essie.
Jim, thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate everything you do.
All right. So, guys, Judy, how much time do we have left? How much? Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, let's jump ahead. We want to go to clip number 26. And this is these are rabid Trump fans. And then we're going to do stills 23, 24, and 25. And then we'll cap off the night with number 40, which is going to be that new movie that's coming out. All right, so let's go with number 26. And guys, just watch. And the only thing I can say is he's a rabid Trump. Look at that. Blank the media. Yeah, you big bozo. Look at that big clown. Look at that. Look at that hate on her face. at that. Oh, double fingers. That's bad. That's serious. Those gotta be Secret Service guys. They gotta be. And guys, how long is it gonna be until something happens? How long is it gonna be? And one of the problems is, you know, you start to look at some of these people in the audience, and to them, things don't matter. The truth isn't important. The only thing that's important is Trump. So guys, Judy, let's have still number 23, and guys, take a good look at these clowns, and look at this. I'd rather be Russian than a Democrat. Now, I mean, how sick do you have to be in the head to even consider something like that? And I mean, you know, these guys had to buy these shirts. They had to pay money for them. And how evil do you have to be, you know, to want to do something like that? I mean, look at these guys. And it's sad. It almost looks like they're related, like a father and son team. You know, I guess they got problems with their genes. But guys, what makes these people do things like this? It's because Trump lies to them. And he comes right out and lies boldly in public. And guys, I have a hard time keeping up with him. But this next still, we're going to show you one of the claims that Trump made. So, Judy, let's have number 24, and you'll see it says U.S. Steel. Trump claimed that U.S. Steel was opening 7 new plants. He told his audience Tuesday that 6 plants were coming and upped that number to 7 on Thursday. The company has made no such announcement, a spokesman told the Associated Press, that any plans to open new plants would be announced on the company's website. So guys, can you believe that? He just boldly comes out with this nonsense, and he just pitches it. And guys, if we take it, Judy, if you go to the next still, once again, we'll fact check it. So this is number, let's see, go to number, the next still is number 25. And we'll fact check it, and you'll see, there you go. Trump says steel opening, U.S. Steel opening mills, not so. And guys, to him, it doesn't matter. He just makes these statements, and he doesn't care. And it reads, President Donald Trump is crediting his tariffs with persuading U.S. Steel to open a half a dozen plants. That's not so. All right, Judy, come back to me. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up the show with one final clip. And guys, this is on a movie that it's going to be coming out at the end of the month. And it's called Active Measures. And when you see what's going on with Trump and Russia, and guys, I have to hand it to our sound man, Kurt. He called this Russian collusion and meddling with funds a year, way back. He was one of the first to bring this up. So let's prove his point with clip number 40. Judy, hit it.
President Trump. Just now, President Putin denied having anything to do with the election interference in 2016. Every U.S. intelligence agency has concluded that Russia did. My first question for you, sir, is who do you believe?
Putin has worked to undermine democracies across the globe.
He made his way up through the KGB.
He learned how to maneuver politically.
The Russian mafia is an adjunct of the Russian government.
And they've helped maintain Mr. Putin's power.
To the point where Putin may well be the wealthiest man on the face of the planet.
How does Russia launder money into America?
Everything I know that's interesting, I can't tell you.
The Russians have a particular type of mark. They go after somebody who has business resources, shady morals, and political connections or aspirations. I've just described Donald Trump.
Putin realizes that if we're divided as a nation, we cannot protect ourselves from threats within and without.
And what you have is probably the biggest intelligence breach in the history of the world.
The crown jewel for any intelligence agency is to recruit an asset inside your adversary's intelligence agency.
They seem to have premonitions of things that were going to happen that in fact did happen.
The question is, who helped guide the decisions that the Russians were making?
Trump Tower was a money laundering paradise.
Anybody who was anybody in Russian organized crime bought a condo unit at Trump Tower.
We have a serious intelligence operation in the home of the man who becomes president of the United States. I think this is the tip of the iceberg.
What's at stake is truth and the cause of liberty at the most profound level possible.
And that looks like it's going to be good, huh, guys? 1 minute? Okay, Judy, perfect. Judy, if you could just bring back still number 01 again, just so that we can, feather our cap a little bit and have a little fun and, so we can pat ourselves on the back. Because, guys, Judy, if you can go back and forth between me and Mr. Jones, guys, just so you could see it, hey, we make things happen with this show. So if there's something you want to see, just get in touch with me on Facebook, and if we can make it happen, we will. But probably the next show is going to be on Medicare, because I got to give Chris Ponte the business. Hey, when you preach nonsense from this desk, the truth doctor comes and straightens you out. So, Judy, where's our credits? Do we got credits to run today? Okay. And, guys, I want to thank everybody. I mean, this is a lot of fun, but I want to tell you, I don't know how much more people can take. I mean, Trump is such a chump, and to mislead everybody the way he does, and to take advantage of people. And, you got people like Ken Johnson and Uncle Joey who aren't even smart enough to know when their intelligence is being insulted. And this is what bothers me. They want to be part of the tribe, and they don't care about anything else. I'll say good night with that. So, guys, next week, hopefully, it'll be on Medicare. Take care.